What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we're doing the only perfect albums today. Now, you may be wondering why I'm blue. Well, you would know if you came into the stream, so just come into the stream and come pop in. It is in the description. With that being said, before we get started, I'm going to list all the honorable mentions. Now, I'm going to go very quickly on these because there's a lot of honorable mentions that don't quite make it. Now, I would say the reason for most is because there's maybe one song I don't like, or maybe I like all the songs, but some of them just aren't really like bangers, you know? And the last reason is maybe there's just too many skits or something like that, or too many interludes. Alright, so the honorable mentions I have are Can't Rush Greatness by Central C, Dopamine by Lil Tecca, Wham by Lil Baby, Valedictorian by Ian, Saheem by Saw Baby, Goodbye Horses by Ian, Animal by Kesha, Come As You Are by DC The Don, Dark Times by Vince Staples, Tickets to My Downfall by MGK, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye West, 808s and Heartbreaks by Kanye West, Late Registration by Kanye West, Eternal Take by Lil Uzi Vert vs. the World 2 by Lil Uzi Vert, The Perfect Love Tape by Lil Uzi Vert vs. the World by Lil Uzi Vert, Pink Tape by Lil Uzi Vert, Don't Try This at Home by NBA Youngboy, Realer 2 by NBA Youngboy, Look at Me the Album by XXXTentacion, I Never Liked You by Future, Last One's Left by 42 Dugg and SG, My Own Worst Enemy by DC The Don, El Dorado by 24K Golden, Life of the Dark Rose by Lil Skies, History by Michael Jackson, Self-Titled by Playboi Carti, and finally Hoodie Season by A Boogie with the Hoodie. So now that we're done with those, we can move on to the only perfect albums. I believe there's 13. Now these are in no particular order, but the final album is, in my opinion, the best album of all time, so stick around for the end to see what that is. Okay, so first we have Dog Boy by Zillakami. I absolutely love this album. I think it is one of the most underrated albums of all time. Genuinely, in my opinion, a perfect listen. The only thing that you could maybe argue that kind of holds us back is the song Dead Girl. I don't really like that one. The Tactical Nuke interlude is honestly solid for an interlude. I mean, you don't really expect anything great out of those. I wish albums didn't have interludes at all. I think they kind of ruin them, in my opinion. I don't really see the point in them. But Dead Girl's the only thing that really holds us back. I think it's a decent song, but it's the only one that's not like a real banger. The rest of these, I know probably all the words to and listen to quite often. Now, it is a little bit more of a sad album for the most part. Now, the first half is a little bit more energetic, but the further you go, it gets a little sad. It tells a good story throughout the whole thing as well, and the outro, Space Cowboy, is absolutely fantastic. Alright, next we have Thriller by Michael Jackson. Now, this is actually a very small album, so it makes sense why it's so good. But we have Wanna Be Starting Something, Baby Be Mine, The Girl Is Mine with Paul McCartney, Thriller, Beat It, Billie Jean, Human Nature, PYT, Pretty Young Thing, and The Lady in My Life. Now, I realized I forgot to do it on the last one, but I'm going to do it on every one. I'm going to tell you the best and worst song on each album as well. So, the best one on the Zillakami one, in my opinion, would be Chewing Gum, and the worst would be Dead Girl, like we mentioned. Now, Thriller by Michael Jackson. Now, obviously, this is an iconic album. Everybody knows this album. It is fantastic. And yeah, honestly, I think the best song on the album is PYT, Pretty Young Thing, and the worst song, in my opinion, has gotta be The Girl Is Mine. That's not really a song I particularly enjoy, but overall, still a perfect album. Next, we have the Cowboy Bebop album by Seatbelts. Now, I know this might sound kind of crazy because this is an album made for a show, but this soundtrack is absolutely beautiful. I love every single song on here. It's just fantastic, I'm not gonna lie. There's not much else to say. There's not many words in many of the songs. Like, Rain is the only one that I think actually has singing in it, and that's probably the best song. I'd go Rain is the best song, and the worst song I would probably go with Cat Blues, but other than that, the rest of them are fantastic. Now we have Graduation by Kanye West. I mean, I think everybody knew this was going to be on here. A lot of people call it the greatest album of all time. I mean, they even have the meme, but Kanye made Graduation, because that's how good Graduation is. It is genuinely, arguably the best album of all time. Now, I do not think it's the best, because obviously we're going to get to that, but a fantastic album just all the way through. I think it's great. Now, the best song on Graduation is Homecoming. In my opinion, Homecoming, it's not my favorite song of all time, but I do think it is the greatest song of all time. I don't think there's a song that you could say is just better than Homecoming. Like, I don't think you can. It's not possible. Now, there's ones you can like more than Homecoming, but I just don't know if there's anything better than Homecoming. I do think it is the greatest song. Now, the worst song on here is probably Drunken Hot Girls. That's probably the worst one. Or Barry Bonds, one of those two. Those are like my bottom two. But overall, still a perfect album. Next, we have Funeral by DC The Don. Super, super underrated. This album, you see how many songs there are, and you're like, wow, this is perfect with that many. Yes, there's like one song on here that just isn't up to par with the rest. The rest of them are absolutely fantastic. I don't know how this album is so underrated. It is so, so good. It is such a fantastic album. I love it. I listen to it all the time still. It is so good, super good. If you haven't listened to Funeral by DC The Don, go listen to it. It is fantastic. Now, the best song, this is hard because so many of them are so good, but I would probably say the best song is I'm Losing It, which is actually on the deluxe version, but it is fantastic. Now, if you want to go non-deluxe, I would say Let's Pretend is really good, Love is really good, probably one of those two would be my favorite. And the worst song on here is probably My Jacket Don't Fit You. That's easily like the worst song on here. Next, we have 17 by XXXTentacion, one of my favorite artists. If you watch my video on my top 100 artists, you know I'm obviously going to be biased to some of the top guys, and this was one of them. And this album, though, I do really enjoy. I like a lot. His interludes are actually pretty good, which normally I hate interludes, so they normally ruin albums from being that perfect, but his are actually pretty solid, and I like every song on here. And yeah, the best song is easily Revenge. Revenge is very good. And the worst song I'd probably say is Orlando. Now we have Goodbye and Good Riddance by Juice WRLD. I'm not a super huge fan of Juice WRLD, but I will admit I love everything on this album. This album is fantastic. Now I'm already going to say the worst things on this album are by far the skits. I don't care for the skits. I think they're useless in an album. But this album is absolutely fantastic. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of Juice WRLD. This is really the only album by him I actually like. And I think it's a perfect album. Now, for best song, I think there's quite a lot of contenders. I think Wasted is a contender. I think Used To is a contender. Candles, Scared of Love, I'm Still. All of those are contenders for the best song on here. I honestly can't pick one. And the worst are obviously the two skits. Next, we have The College Dropout by Kanye West. Now, a lot of people may not agree with this, but some people may agree with this. I love this album. This is probably my favorite Kanye album. I love so many songs on here. The songs go so deep, and for this to be his first album is absolutely incredible. I think it's his best album, at least in my opinion. The College Dropout is one of the best albums of all time. So, yeah. My favorite song is, where's it at? Did I miss it? No, it should be on here, right? Oh, yeah, it's right. Sorry, I missed it. Never Let Me Down. That is by far my favorite. And my least favorite is probably going to be the skits. You know, I don't really care for skits, so yeah. Next, we have Heroes and Villains by Metro Boomin. Now, this album is just a production masterpiece. Now, you could say some features may not be the best, but I still think it is a perfect 10 out of 10 album. This, like I said, is a production masterpiece. It is absolutely incredible. And yeah, I mean, everyone knows that production-wise, it is fantastic. The only thing people might not agree with is some of the features. Now, the best song, in my opinion, is, where is it at? Metro Spider. That is my favorite. And my least favorite song, it's kind of tough. I might go with, maybe Around Me with Don Toliver. I don't know. There's a few in contention for me for the worst song, but the best is definitely Metro Spider, in my opinion. All right, next we have Question Mark by XXXTentacion. Now, as you know, this is not the actual album cover, and it is still kind of blurry. That's because I could not find an album cover to put on here for some reason that was in high quality. I don't know why they didn't have it. I don't know. Whatever. But I love this album. I think this album is better than 17. It is super good. I think there is an interlude. Yes, the interlude in this is very good. The introduction is very good. Overall, very solid. And for the best song, it's honestly a hard choice, but I think I'm going to go with the Money by Matt Ox. That is, I just love it. You can put that on. I'm always going to sing that. I'm always going to dance to it, right? Like, that's a good song. But there's so many good options for number one. And my least favorite song would probably be Schizophrenia. And that one is the only one I'm not the biggest fan of. But overall, I'd still say perfect album. Next, we have Taboo by Denzel Curry. This is what an album should be. Now, the titles and stuff were annoying to type all of this because, I mean, just look at the different stuff and you're repeating the same thing but just changing. Yeah, anyway, you get the point. But this is what an album should be. I think the rollout of this album was fantastic. I think the delivery of the songs were fantastic. I think the story told in the album was fantastic. This is what an album should be. And this is, I don't want to confirm because I'm not 100% sure, but this is probably, in my opinion, the second greatest album of all time. It is super good, and this is the most like storytelling album, at least I think in my opinion. Just the way it was released and everything. If you remember back then when it came out, this album was fantastic, and it still is fantastic. Now for the best song, I'm probably going to go with either Sirens or Vengeance. Those are incredibly good. And the worst song, I think, is pretty easy. I think it's the Black Metal T-Word at the bottom. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that, so get the Black Metal T-Word. That is his worst album, or his worst song. And I realize my face cam is kind of in the way of the titles, so that is my bad. I'll move it here, but yeah. Next we have Dial It by Playboi Carti, and this is Carti's easily his best album. There's not a miss on here. Now there is, the only thing that sucks is the Middle of the Summer song is fantastic. That girl that is on it ruins it. That is the only song you could say is bad, but I still think it's really good because that chorus is so good and so catchy. It's like, I'll still listen to it, but I'm skipping when her verse comes on. So that's probably going to be the worst song already. I'm just letting you know. Now, the best song is easily Shuda. So good. I mean, I say easily. There's a lot of good options, but yeah, that's what I would pick. And now we're on to the last album. The greatest album of all time, in my opinion. I think Love is Rage 2 is the greatest album of all time. I know all of these songs word for word. They are so incredibly good. I love every single song on Love is Rage 2, and similar with the album cover thing, I couldn't find the actual one in high quality, so I just did this one. And yeah, I absolutely love this album so much. I bought this album, downloaded this album. I have everything you can imagine with this album. I love all these songs. This is the greatest album in my opinion. There is not a single song on here that's not a banger. Like, my least favorite would probably be For Real, and that's still a banger. So like, it's crazy how good this album really is. Now, my favorite song is a little tough, but I think I'm probably going to go How to Talk. I love How to Talk. It's such a good song. This is, in my opinion, the greatest album of all time. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe. I got my main channel in the description, my Twitch. I stream every day, so come check those out. And with that being said, I'm going to head out. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Peace.